on!
Bye,
Ross!
Hi, my name is Anna, and I am a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton, and I'm a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back in the year 2021 for the next episode of our Getting to Know Ace series.
Yes, so the next music video lined up is Savage, Beatbox-san. So feel free to use the timestamps down below and just click to the music video reaction. But before we get into it, we thought that we would just give a little update for Choice friends that are following the series. But basically, over the past week since we're filming this, a lot of things have happened. No, it's basically just because watching Undercover opened up a whole new world of Ace content we're now allowed to watch.
Yes. Basically, who everyone thought our biases were after the first few episodes have very much changed.
A lot. Maybe you'll get hints during this reaction, who knows?
We still don't really know.
We still don't really know. Honestly, the covers will probably change everything, let's be real.
Let's just go.
Okay.
That's cool.
I don't know what I had been expecting. Why is it all Are they pirates? They're pirates. Are you okay, Peyton?
Bye.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a fancy set. Peyton, did you see that?
Oh.
Oh. This is so much more hip-hop than they've been. Joker.
That's what
He
I
looks
was
like
just
the Joker.
thinking. I was like, oh my god, it's the Joker.
What the heck?
What?
Right, with lines on his
Oh.
face too.
Don't forget, don't smile.
Oh. What is all the random hollow stuff though?
That part's so cool.
The horns. Whoa! Oh. It's suddenly so much brighter. Silence. Oh, the beat is different. What was on the screen?
The programming.
Oh. Missouri abroad.
Okay, before I start, if you hear odd noises in the background, my nephew is playing with a Mickey Mouse clock tower that sings. Okay, about the song. So, first, we got it afterwards. We were like, oh wait, this is the Suicide Squad one. So he was the Joker. And also, like, while we're on that note, they all did a really great job, but like, hats off to WoW, because that, like, especially the part where he's in the, like, concrete tunnel or whatever. Wow. He made me say wow. Because his acting there was so good and so intense. I was like, oh my gosh. So, with that in mind, makes sense because the song like made my heart race right from the very beginning when like the beat starts and they're kind of like rocking back and forth. It made me feel very like, not anxious in a bad way, but like anticipating what was going to happen. My note says not the same sort of racing as like, oh my gosh, they're so good looking, which they are, but racing in as like, oh, I'm anticipating like what's gonna happen, like something's going on, that sort of anticipating. And it's in the dance too, especially in the chorus. They say, beat that son, and they like snap their head, and then the chorus starts, so it's like they snap their neck, and that's like, anyway. But then the first two choruses, over the like faster beat, they're doing very like slow, sustained movements, almost like they're moving through honey or something. It's so interesting because they're like walking forward, and then it gets faster and faster and faster. And it's kind of like a predator coming towards you and then like coming for you. And I was like, oh, okay. And like as the chorus goes on, it gets faster and faster and faster. So it starts to make it feel a little bit wild, which makes sense again. But the last chorus especially starts feeling a little manic. It's not that their moves aren't controlled, because they are doing a lot of like flying arms and jumping and kind of moving back and forth, but it's actually the exact opposite, because their moves are the only way to pull off moves that are that wild without it looking messy and still looking good is to have insane control over your body. And so it's actually the fact that they look so manic is just showing how in control they are, which is this really weird dichotomy when you think about it. So yeah, it was just really interesting to watch. And because it's like the whole time I was feeling like, what's gonna happen? And then it's this like manic dancing at the end, and then they just walk away. I was like, what? It basically made my heart race the whole time for many reasons, but mostly because of the dancing. I also have a thing for lip rings, okay?
If that tells y'all anything.
Anna's turn.
My turn. So, I think I kind of said it in the reaction. I don't know if I completed the phrase, but this is their first foray into like a more hip-hop sound, I believe. For a title track, we don't know about the B-sides because we haven't listened to them yet, because that'll be a future episode. Because of a more like hip-hop focused sound, it definitely like highlights Pyeongwan and WoW more. As this is more hip-hop, the beat is more repetitive than usual, I feel like a bit more predictable. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like that's one of the characteristics of a more hip-hop sound. So like a few examples of that are like during the verses, it has the bass, and then it has that line above it, the like that more high-pitched line. Another thing is like the like build-up of like the beat going and then like emphasized even more with like the sudden high note that happens. That was very like, oh, kind of something that I expected to happen, and then like the sudden silence before iconic line leading into the chorus. Despite being predictable, it's like something that happens a lot in music for a reason, because it's really impactful when it's done right. And this was done very well. Although I keep saying like the beat repeats, but it does get a little bit more interesting with the bass specifically in the chorus, because instead of just doing like a pattern for one measure that repeats every measure, it's a little more rhythmic, like it's like dun da 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 or something like that instead. Should I not say that? Because you're making a face.
It's because it's what they're walking on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now that you say that, it might be what they're walking on.
And actually, that's part of the reason why I said in the reaction for the chorus immediately following the bridge, I was like, oh, something about the beat has changed. It's because it's the bass. For only the chorus immediately after the bridge, they don't have that more rhythmic line in the bass anymore. It's just going, da, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it reverts back to what it was doing before, like for the ending section of the song. But yeah. But to talk about the bridge a little bit, because I mentioned in the reaction, I was like, oh, it suddenly feels brighter. That's because like the song is in minor and then it suddenly goes into major for a little bit in the bridge. But for the second half of the bridge, this is one of the vocal things I'm gonna say. I would not have thought that the person singing was Donghoon unless I had seen it in the music video. Because it just sounds so different. It's like very rough and like very gritty. It's not a growl, but it definitely feels like he's like grating on his voice a little bit. Honestly, it sounds a little painful, but it's a really good vibe for this song. I mentioned in the undercover reaction how they had changed some of the vowels to fit the style of the song, like that's a little bit more punk rock, and it's definitely something that happened for this one too. It is interesting to see how they did change their voices for this, like it does sound a little bit meaner. And then last thing I'll say about the song is you were saying that it like makes you feel kind of on edge, like you don't know what's gonna happen. I agree with that for like the whole instrumental, but also the way that the song ends does that. It doesn't resolve, because the song ends going like duh, duh. To resolve, it should go up to duh, but instead it just ends and it doesn't play the last one. So you feel really uncomfortable, like why isn't this thing happening? Why isn't something happening when it feels like it should be? But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, so TLDR for this video is we're finally back with another Getting to Know Ace episode. We were really excited to film this today. They, of course, did not disappoint. I don't know about you, but my bias list is once again just like thrown out the window. What's a bias? Who knows? Not this group.
You do know about me. You do know where my bias is.
I do, but I'm not going to embarrass you.
I thought you were going to say you're going to keep it a secret so that everyone could guess, but fine.
Yeah, I'll just be nice today. Anyways, the song was a little bit of a different style from what we'd seen, and Anna got those meaner vocals that she was looking for. She acknowledged it, she saw it. The dance was super intense, super wild, and I don't know, it's Ace, like, we knew we were gonna like it, so
but
hurry!
That being said, if you enjoyed this reaction and also love watching Ace perform and their title tracks and all that jazz, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe,
ding,
turn on your notification bell, and bye!
Bye!